The government faces intense criticism following its announcement that landlords will have until 2027 to rectify all dangerous hazards in their properties. This extended deadline applies to Awaab's law, legislation intended to prevent tragedies like the death of 2-year-old Awaab Ishak in 2020. Awaab tragically perished from exposure to mold in his Rochdale social housing flat, a case that ignited widespread public outrage and calls for immediate. The delayed implementation of Awaab's law has drawn sharp rebukes from various quarters. The government's initial commitment, voiced last year by a prominent figure, promised a swift crackdown on substandard housing conditions, vowing to end the scandal of people living in unacceptable conditions through the immediate implementation of Awaab's law within the social rented sector. This strong statement now contrasts starkly with the extended time frame granted to landlords. Critics argue that the 7-year grace period undermines the law's intended purpose and fails to adequately address the urgent need for safer housing. The delay, they contend, leaves vulnerable tenants exposed to potentially life-threatening hazards for an unacceptable length of time. Concerns are raised that this postponement will result in further suffering and potential fatalities, negating the very essence of Awaab's law. The prolonged timeline offers landlords ample opportunity to procrastinate, allowing dangerous conditions to persist and potentially lead to more avoidable tragedies. Furthermore, the lack of immediate action sends a troubling message, suggesting a prioritization of landlord convenience over the fundamental right to safe and healthy housing for tenants. The government's decision to allow this extended period before enforcement, despite the clear urgency highlighted by Awaab's case, fuels accusations of negligence and a lack of commitment to protecting vulnerable residents. The effectiveness of Awaab's law and the government's commitment to its principles now hangs precariously in the balance.